So I've scrap that. That goes in the next job pile. We're all right with the top bit. I just misunderstood how it worked. So no problem. Let's carry on. That's no problem. We just got to put one of these in now. We might be a little bit more creative or inventive with the top of it. We'll see how we get on. So we're going to make this for the inside of the other one now. Okay, come on, let's crack on. So I've realised that'll be fine as a top jaw connected to the thin shaft. The thin shaft will be coming down. It's all about, and the top jaw will be here. It's all about building a pile of nuts and bolts. So this pile, this long, this high up here, whilst keeping it in the centre of that square. So we've got to try and build from, say, what did I do with it? I had it in my hand a minute ago. Hold on. It's like building from, say, what the hell did I do with that large nut? But it's still not large enough. I need a bigger one. But anyway, it's all about building. Come on, where are you? Anyway, it's all about building a pile of these in the middle, of course, on the way up, making this fit. So I'll just mix and match and change and build. I might even use socket. That's going to fit in there just nicely, isn't it? So as long as I make this, as long as I make that, I could do that, couldn't I? Weld that around there. As long as I can make that a pile in here. Now, it might be a pile of bolts. Yeah, all welded together. But again, we've got to remember the inner shaft has got to go down the inside, around the outside of it. So it can't be too, got to leave it room. Actually, I might just use a long socket, you know. Put a few of them together. Let's have a look, but we just got to play with it and we've got to make a big bolt here so that we know that's in the middle. The hole is in the middle, and then we've just got to build a pile up first and then in there. Come on, let's have a look what we can make. So here's a little Reggie tip. The problem we've got now is we've got to put this nut halfway up the shaft. And how do we make sure that goes smack bang in the middle? How do we know this shaft is going to go smack bang in the middle? Well, there's one thing you can always rely on in a nut, and that in a nut, the middle is the middle. The hole is in the middle of the nut. So I'm going to put a slight cut there, slight cut there, slight cut there, slight cut there, jam that in there, right? And then I'm going to then weld that in there. Because you can see it's same there. You could jam it in and weld it where it's at. That might do the same thing, right? So we know the middle of that hole is the middle of that shaft. So to continue that, you can get a bit of a socket. And we know the middle of this socket is going to be the middle of this hole. So the socket's going to be there on top of it, isn't it? And then we know if that socket now fits over the end of here, which goes in there. So the center of this shaft connected to the socket, which is connected to the nut, which is connected to the outside of the shaft you want to connect to. That's the middle of the hole. So now can you imagine it? There's the outside. Coming down the outside will be this, and we need a shaft sticking out up there, don't we? And how we're going to guarantee that that shaft is going to be in the middle of there is we're going to rely on our good friends, that nut, because the hole is in the middle, this socket because the hole is in the middle, and this nut where the hole is going to be in the middle. So if you want to guarantee your hole is going to end up in the middle of the job, use nuts and bolts and sockets and all that sort of a thing, and work your way down. A Reggie tip. But we're going to build it up, turn it round, put it in backwards. Yeah, that's the plan. So you can see now that is going to be the centre of the square. So we wanted the centre of that, so we shove a pipe into it. Then we wanted the centre of that, so we shoved a nut into it, but we want it to stick out a bit. So we know the centre of this. Now we know the centre of there, when we weld that on, is going to be the centre. So let's do this first. Now we've found the centre of the hole. I would have liked that to be a bit shorter, but it don't matter. It don't matter, because we're going to put this on the outside anyway. And we can play with the length. We've got plenty of room to play with the length of it, because we only want the jaws to open a certain amount, don't we? So let's, a Reggie tip is, remember the centre, any nut and bolt, the hole is always in the middle of the nut and the bolt, or any shaft, or whether it be a socket, whether it be whatever it be, nuts and bolts wise, it's always in the centre, isn't it? So that's how you work your way down, through bits of pipe or nuts and bolts. And nuts especially, always the centre. So we squeezed it in the vise. The flat edge of that is the same as the flat edge of this. So when we weld it on the flat edge of the box, make note of where it's going. On the edge of the box, it should go all the way in. So we'll have a thread here, won't we? And that's the one that's going to drive the bottom shaft up. Yeah. So I know it's a sacking offence to cut up a socket, but I cut the nose off the socket. I just wanted a bit more meat around here to weld to. I'm going to tack it here, and here, and hopefully not move my bar onto there. And that's the trouble when you're working near thread, you'll kill it. So anyway, I'll come here and come up over to it. Same here, I'll come up and go over to it. Yeah, and we'll put that in the end of the shaft now. And we've still got plenty of wiggle room in there, haven't we? Well, I think that's about as much as you're going to get out of me today. So look, that's the top jaw. Put a jaw on top of that, right? And we've got that here somewhere. And then this is that underneath, isn't it? Yeah. And then this is the thread threading in from the top. This is the closing one. So let's give it a bit of encouragement, shall we? Here we are. Let's give it a bit of encouragement. Overnight encouragement. That's as good as you're going to get out of me today. I'm going in, it's tea time. But thus far, so good. We'll have about that much closure on the thing. A bit of figuring out, you know. A bit of figuring out to do. That will come up from the inside, won't it? That's why I couldn't figure it out. And then the thin one's going to go on top. She'll have the big one out the outside, the thin one in the inside, and this is going to be the clamping force, as you might say. So I have figured it out. Had a bit of a scare. It looks straightish because they're bigger tubes, so there is a bit of wiggle room, you know. The first problem will be just, as long as we can get the first few threads in there and get the thing started, I think we're going to be all right. Yeah. So anyway, that's as good as it gets, my little munchkins. I looked at the film again and I saw what I did wrong.